Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my workshop. If it's your first time here, my name's Kyle. I invite you to subscribe and you'll see lots more content like this. Also go back and check out my enormous catalog at this point of different knife content, all sorts of different builds of all types of things. But I think you'll have a lot of fun and enjoy that. Today we have another Buck 110. This one is sent in by Javier, and it's a little different of a Buck 110 than I've seen before. Now, if you haven't watched my channel before, I do a lot of Buck 110, Buck 112 work, scale replacements, tang, filing. I've sort of become a bit of an expert at this process, and I get knives sent in to me for all over the globe, and I also have a stock of brand new Buck 110s here as well. I keep in the shop, so if someone wants a custom one, I have them right here ready to go. We go through materials lists, we go through exactly what we want, and then I build it out here to their specs. Now right here we have a beautiful Buck 110. This was a gift from Javier's father. Javier sent this in from the US. Now have a look. This is a different model from what I've seen before. Look at this thumb stud. I don't know if this was just added or if it came on it or what, but I have an understanding that this knife is an older model, and you can usually tell too, but look how rounded the bolsters are. The new ones come a little more squared off, but this is a little more rounded. But you got that classic diamond wood, pretty standard 110, except for that pin. It's really cool, I like that. But Javier also sent in a piece of stag from a bull elk that was down, I believe by him or his family or something, in Dubois, Wyoming. And that's what he's requested to go on this special knife here. So we're gonna make that happen for him. The first step in the build process is to disassemble the knife, and to do that, we need to grind the heads off of all the pins in the scale area. And to do that, we're gonna destroy the scales, but that's okay. We don't need those, we don't want those, so we can just gouge out the heads of those pins like you're seeing here, and then we can go ahead, knock out that lock bar pin, as you can see right here, and then the whole knife can come apart except for removing the blade. But we can remove the lock bar, the torsion spring, all of that. The scales can be removed then, and we can move on with this process. And now begins the most difficult part of the process. Now we can start grinding in our vine work for the tang, or your file work, whatever you want to call it, depends on the design. It's not always vine work. Today we're going to do something a little different, and it's going to be so good. It's my first time trying this pattern. It's one I drew up myself, but this part does demand some skill if you want it to look real good. And you can kind of play around with it, and you can kind of rework things. But, of course, if you cause damage, you can't add steel back unless you're intending on putting in some filler weld or something like that. But you get to really have fun on this part of the process and really make that knife unique. I can get most of the ways there with the belt grinder and the Dremel, but I always finish up with some file work to clean things up. I can get a little more precision, a little sharper lines by using a file. Now it's time to start prepping that handle material that our client chose for this special knife. And again, this is a piece of Wyoming elk, just beautiful material. But whenever you're working with natural stag like this, and you're not force warping it open, it's really difficult to, you just can't end up, as you can imagine, with that stag finish on most of the scale, because the thickness of the scale and the circumference of this material, they just don't work well together. What you end up doing is having mostly that white bone finish. Putting on those 3M muffs again. I think today I've got a real good Randy Travis worship playlist. I really like country music. And anytime I can combine country music and gospel music, and it's good quality music, love it, love it, love it. Also switching to the full face mask today. The last time I was grinding handles, even though I've got new filters on and everything's clean and done, I'm starting to smell a little through my mask, and I don't like that, so I'm gonna pick up a new respirator. I'm gonna put on this big one, and this one's actually more comfortable anyways, and it feels like it does a better job, but this is just so clunky getting on and off. When you put it on, this is why I'm doing all my talking now, I can't just flip down my mask and talk to you. It's not that simple. Now with just the right grinder setup and all of the right belts and a good skill set, you can make this part of the process here pretty quick and efficient. Otherwise, be prepared to spend a lot of time hand working in that finish and getting everything right and getting that brass up to spec. The first few bucks that I did were largely by hand, and it took a lot of time to get everything seamless, get that brass polished up and sanded to a grit where you could buff it. It was just a lot of work. At this point, thankfully, I've invested in a good tool set, spent a lot of time working on my skill set, so it doesn't take quite as long. Okay, are you sure you're ready for this old beauty? This knife has been around for a long time, remember. Look at that. You can see I gave the blade a good buffing there as well. This is an older model, a standard Buck 110 that was gifted to our friend Javier. Look at this. Look at that. Piece of, what was it we said, Wyoming elk that he sent in. Beautiful palm swell here. Look at that, our custom filed tang. I hope you like it, Javier. Hope you guys, the audience, like it. I hope you learned something today. If you're interested in getting your own custom Buck 110, you can email me. My email's in the description box there now. It's down in the comments section. You can find it on my website, ColinNoseworthy.com. If you're interested in a Buck 110, like I said, you can send one in. We have bucks here in stock, ready to rip. So just let me know. You can check out my website for a listing of what's available of my own custom-built knives right now. Good function check. Lots of knives in stock available for purchase. So check that out, ColinNoseworthy.com, and you can email me as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel if it's your first time here. Hope you learned something, hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come back for the next video.